All right, if we're being asked to simplify this radical expression, we first need to make sure we reduce this fraction as much as possible. There's actually nothing to do here in that case. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to split up the radical over the numerator and the denominator. You'll see why here in a second. So this is the square root of 7 over the square root of 10. Okay. Now the rule with radical expressions is I can't give a final answer with the square root of 10 in the denominator. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply this by a factor of 1, or multiply the same thing to the top and the bottom. I want to multiply by something that will get rid of the square root in the denominator, and the trick always is you just multiply by the same square root that you see. So I'm going to multiply the numerator and the denominator by the square root of 10. What I get now is in the numerator, the square root of 70. That's the result of the square root of 7 times the square root of 10. In the denominator, what I would get is the square root of 100. So let's look at this real fast on the side. Square root of 10 times the square root of 10 equals the square root of 100. But the square root of 100, we know, is just 10. In fact, you don't even need to ever see the square root of 100. Whenever you multiply a square root by itself, you'll always just get the stuff on the inside. So the square root of 10 times the square root of 10 is always going to be 10. Again, that's why we did the multiplication here that we did. So what we get is the square root of 70 over the square root of 10. Everything's as simplified as possible, and we no longer have a radical in the denominator.